Hello students, in my last lecture we talked about the natural methods of vegetative propagation. Today we will be talking about the artificial methods of vegetative propagation. Now in the artificial method of vegetative propagation, the human interference is essential. Now there are various artificial method. One of the artificial method is the cutting method. Now in the cutting method, it could be stem cutting or it could be root cutting. Now in the stem cutting, a part of the stem that is taken out, that is cut. So let us see, like इस plant में से ऊपर का जो ये part है stem का, इसको काट देते हैं, and this is a cut part of the stem. The lower part of the stem that is dipped in a plant hormone known as auxin. Why this auxin is applied on the lower part of the cut stem is because these auxin that help in the production of roots. So if this cut part of a stem is placed in the pot, after few days you will find that the adventitious roots will develop and the stem starts growing, the leaves start forming and the branches also come out. So from a small portion of the stem, a complete plant can be grown. This is known as a stem cutting, and this stem cutting takes place in case of sugarcane, in case of roses, in case of grapes also. तुमने बहुत बार देखा होगा बरसात के रीज़न में बहुत से लोग बेचने आते हैं कि छोटे छोटे रोजेस के प्लांट्स होते हैं जिनमें फ्लावर्स भी दिखते हैं. सो दोज आर द प्लांट्स विच आर प्रोड्यूस्ड बाय द स्टेम कटिंग. द रूट कटिंग इज सेम एज दैट ऑफ द स्टेम कटिंग. द ओनली डिफरेंस इज दैट इंस्टेड ऑफ स्टेम द रूट of certain plants like lemon, the root is taken out, and if this root is dipped in the plant hormone and if that root is grown into the soil, a complete plant comes out from that root. So these are the cutting methods, stem cutting or the root cutting. Another very interesting artificial method for vegetative propagation is the grafting. Now in the grafting, the two plants are there, like this is one plant and this is second plant. In the first plant, the shoot system matlab the stem and the branches and the leaves and the flowers and the fruits, that means the part of the plant which is above the soil, that is known as a shoot. This is very superior. The flowers are very good, they are colorful, they are big, the fruits are also big, and we want this quality. But at the same time, this plant have the roots which are of not so superior qualities, because these roots cannot absorb water very quickly and they get diseased very fast. But there is another plant whose root system is very strong. It doesn't require much water, it absorbs the water very fast and the roots doesn't get diseased. But at the same time, second plant ka the shoot system, that is not good. Why? Because the flowers, they are very small or the fruits are very small. You can see this flower is small compared to this flower. So we want the shoot system of one plant but the root system of another plant. So this can be done by grafting. So the shoot part of the plant, that is known as a shine, this shine is grafted on the lower part which is known as a stalk. So the stalk is the part of the root system and the shine is a part of a shoot system. They are tied and after some times it becomes a one plant. Of course, some hormones are spread on the point where the tying is done. So naturally this plant which will be produced after grafting will have both the superior qualities, that means the shoot system will be very desirable, have the desirable qualities, as well as the root system also will be very strong. So this is a grafting method. And another method of artificial propagation is layering. Now layering is done in the strawberry as well as in jasmine. Now this is a plant, the lower branch of that plant is bent by the human or by the farmers, and a part of a branch is fixed in the soil so that the tip should be out of the soil. So after some times, the part of the branch which is there inside the soil, certain adventitious roots develop, and when this branch is cut from the parent plant, this second branch that will give rise to a new plant. So such type of vegetative propagation which is done in the strawberry as well as in the jasmine, that is known as a layering. Another very important method, that is artificial method of vegetative propagation, which is very common nowadays, is tissue culture. Now in the tissue culture method, a small part of a plant or a tissue of a plant or a cell of plant which is known as an explant, that is taken and it is put in one medium, nutrient medium, and generally this nutrient medium is agar and agar, and this cell or the tissue after some days it will divide, the cells keeps on dividing and a callus is formed. Now callus is the various cells which are undifferentiated cells. So many cells which are undifferentiated matlab one cell give rise to a complete plant, that is known as a callus. So callus will be formed, and from this callus in the nutrient medium small plantlets they will come out. That means from one cell innumerable plantlets can be produced, and after that these plantlets they are taken out and they are grown in the pots. So this is a tissue culture method, and this tissue culture method is very fast method to obtain large number of plantlets from the plant tissue or from the plant cell. So this is a tissue culture method, which is again an artificial method of vegetative propagation. Now let us talk about the significance and the advantages of vegetative propagation. Now vegetative propagation is very quick method, it is quite economical, cheap method, and the plants which are produced from this vegetative propagation, these plants they show early flowers and the early fruits. ये जो vegetative propagation से हम plants उगाते हैं, they give early flowers and the early fruits compared to those plants which are produced from the seed. Another important advantage of this method is that there are certain plants like banana or the grapes, they lose their property of reproduction. That means the seeds of this banana as well as these grapes, they are non-viable seeds. Non-viable seeds means these seeds cannot give rise to a plant. So in these cases the vegetative propagation is the only method of producing these plants. Now by grafting, the superior, we have talked about the grafting, the superior quality plants can be produced which have the qualities of both the two plants, that is superior root system and the superior shoot system. Another important characteristic of the vegetative propagation is that the plants which are produced, they are genetically similar. Genetically similar means the plants are same as that of the parent plant, no variations are seen. Plants के अंदर कोई भी variation नहीं होती है. So these are the methods of natural methods of vegetative propagation as well as the artificial method of vegetative propagation. Now with this, another method is spore formation. Now this spore formation is the method of propagation in fungus or the fungi like rhizopus. Rhizopus क्या है? ये fungi है. कौन सी फंजाई है जो ब्रेड में उगती है. यू मस्ट हैव सीन कि 4-5 दिन तक ब्रेड ऐसे ही पड़ी रहे इन स्पेशली इन द रेनी सीजन, देन सर्टन ग्रीन लाइक स्ट्रक्चर that is a fungus that grow in the bread, that is known as a bread mold, and the scientific name of this bread mold is rhizopus. Now this rhizopus have small structures, the hair like structures, these are known as the sporangiophores, and at the tip of this sporangiophores, ये hair like structure में tip में bulb like structures are there. You can see these bulb like structures, and these bulb like structures they are known as sporangia. इन sporangia के अंदर many spores are present. ये छोटे छोटे जो दिख रहे हैं हमें, these are the spores. So when these sporangia they break, they burst, the spores are produced, that means the spores are liberated outside, and these spores have thick wall which protect these spores from unfavorable environmental conditions. But when these spores come into contact with a moist surface, they give rise to a new plant. So from one plant innumerable spores are produced, and these spores are able to produce innumerable new plant. Okay. Now this is known as a spore formation. Now you should ask me a question कि why this spore formation or the fungi that is not taken along with the animal or along with the plant, because fungi is neither an animal nor a plant. Fungi is a heterotroph, but all the plants are autotrophs. So fungi cannot be included in plant. Similarly, it cannot be included in animals. Why? Because the cells of the fungi, they have a cell wall, and animals के अंदर cell में cell wall नहीं होती. So this fungi belong to a separate kingdom, that is known as a fungi. Okay, this finishes the asexual type of reproduction. Now let us summarize the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction in which only one parent is required, that is, it is a uniparental type of reproduction. Various methods are fission. Fission can be binary fission like in amoeba, or it could be multiple fission as in case of Plasmodium. Binary fission can be transverse binary fission, that is in amoeba, or it could be longitudinal binary fission like in Paramecium or in Leishmania. Second method is fragmentation, which takes place in Spirogara. Third method is budding. Budding can take place in unicellular organism like yeast or multicellular organism like Hydra. The fourth method we talked about is regeneration, which takes place in Hydra as well as in Planaria. The fifth method is spore formation, which takes place in Rhizopus, which is a fungi, or Penicillium, which is again a fungi. Then these are the asexual method of reproduction in case of plants and the fungi. Then there are natural method of vegetative propagation in plants. Plants में asexual reproduction को vegetative reproduction बोलते हैं या फिर vegetative propagation बोलते हैं. So vegetative propagation can be natural methods or the artificial method. We talked about in natural method the sweet potato, that is the root give rise to many plants. In potato it is the stem, eyes of the stem which give rise to many plants. In Bryophyllum it is the leaf, that means the root, stem or the leaf, which are the vegetative parts of the plant, give rise to a new plant. So these are the natural method. And we talked about the artificial method, that is cutting in case of sugarcane and roses, grafting in case of mango or in certain other plants, layering in case of jasmine, and the tissue culture like in dahlia. These are the vegetative reproduction or the vegetative propagation. These are the artificial methods. So with this, the asexual reproduction in plants, animals, that has been completed. In my next lecture we will start with the sexual reproduction. Thank you, students.